What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Farzy Show, Draft Day edition, baby! And Sixers playoff edition as well. But Draft Day, baby! We're in Draft Day! Welcome to the Steven Singer Studios. My name is Mark Farzy. I host this little thing we like to call the Farzy Show, presented by Destination Retirement, destinationretirement.com. Hope all is going well in your world today. Let's start it off with this, and I'm going to ask the good people. I'm going to start off in the chat today. This is what I'm going to do right quick, okay? Nice things to say about Howie Roseman. Ellipses. That's ... for those that don't know. Go. All right, there we go. I spelled that right? Yes, I did. Good morning, everybody in the chat. Nice to see you guys. I have put together a list of the top 5 things that I find nice about Howie Roseman. Because I would have put that good, good juju in the air today. I would have put out them good vibes, right? So that we know when we do the show tomorrow, we got good vibes, baby. And I'm going to start it out right now. The Phillies already won 3 games in a row. That's good vibes. That's what they call a winning streak. If you follow me on Twitter, you have seen me put out the great video of Lou Brown saying, "We win one tomorrow. That's called a winning streak. It has happened before." And the Phillies have won 3 in a row. Bryce Harper's red hot, by the way. Nick Castellanos ain't too shabby either. We'll get into that. Like I said, we'll get into the Sixers. And Doc Rivers, ooh, baby. He was Doc Rivers for the first 50 seconds of that soundbite. And if you haven't seen it yet, we're going to play it on this show today, where he was asked about being down, or excuse me, being up in series 3 times in his career, 3-1. And now he's up. He was up in this series 3-0. He was also up 3-1. Let's do the math. And so for 4th time in his career, he could blow a 3-0 or 3-1 series lead. And the first coach ever to blow that lead. So, a 3-0 lead. So that's fun. You got asked about that yesterday. And boy, did he go on the defense for that. And 50 seconds of that answer are words that I wish I could just hack out and get rid of them. Because the last 10 seconds should have just been the answer. And I'll explain that coming up in a little bit. If you've been watching the show this week, you have heard me get into this draft just a wee bit. You know who I'm after. I do like the idea of bringing Jordan Davis in here. I know not everyone is keen on that. They think he is very limited. I don't believe that he is very limited. I think he can help this Eagles defensive line tremendously, and that's the guy I'm going to be going after in this draft. Devin Lloyd is another one that I like, a linebacker. Who am I? I'm Jeff Mosher. A linebacker. They're probably going to take a wide receiver. Zach Berman is going to join the show. He'll let us know what he thinks in that spot, if he thinks the Eagles are going to take a wide receiver tonight. I think if the Eagles are trading up, I think they're going to be going after a corner. I think Derek Stingley is the guy they're going to be going after from LSU. The guy can do it all. I mean, you talk about versatility, you talk about speed, you talk about quickness, you talk about anticipation. He's exactly what you want on this defense. If the Eagles decide to get aggressive with their 15th overall selection and move up in this draft, that's most likely the guy they're going to move up to. But you know what has to happen? He's got to start to fall. Oh, he wasn't taking it 7. He wasn't taking it 8. He wasn't taking it 9. Does he get into double digits? And that's when Howie Roseman pounces. For those on the podcast, I just did a phenomenal pantomime of Howie Roseman pouncing like a lion. Yeah, that's the ticket. There you go. So that's what I got to insert today as far as the Eagles go. I think if they do trade up, it will be for a defensive player, and I'm here for it. And I think it's going to be very easy to please this Philadelphia fan base, because I think most people going into the draft tonight want the Eagles to concentrate on improving the defensive side of the football. They can do that easily in this first round. Please do so. Now, I know, no matter what, there's going to be a large contingent of people that are always pissed off at Howie Roseman. They're not going to be big fans of Howie Roseman no matter what he does. No matter what he does, it's going to be jinxed. It's going to come with some kind of strings attached. This guy, he's not going to play well to begin with. He's going to have some kind of injury where he's going to sit out, or he's got some kind of deal where he's not going to be able to help the team as much as he'd like to help the team in year one. I'm not here for that today, folks. I am in no way, shape, or form here for that. So I give you the good vibes I promised earlier. These are the 5 nice things I like about Howie Roseman. Number 5, still has his hair. I'm bald. Any man with hair that's older than me, God bless you. 4, occasionally funny at press conferences. He is. The whole thing, the little exchange you had with Les Bowen in their most recent press conference. Les, didn't I send you a card for retirement? And Les is like, I came back like Tom Brady. Les was funnier, ain't the question. Howie was also funny. The pepperoni pizza thing, pepperoni or pizza, vanilla or chocolate, those things that stick out in my mind no matter what. And number 3, good work ethic. Do we not appreciate a good work ethic in the city of Philadelphia? This guy was, an intern, worked his way up. Now he's running the organization, people. You gotta love that work ethic. And here's number 2. Number 2 is he's always been nice to me. Always. I interviewed him about Madden ratings some years ago. And he actually took the time to answer my stupid question about Madden. When I say interview, that's a strong word. Let me back that off a touch. I was going around when I was over at NBC giving the players their Madden ratings. And this was like 5-6 years ago. And Howie was just there on the field, wasn't talking to anybody, wasn't doing any press conference, something like that. I was like, Howie, just give me a second. Come on. And he was like, oh, no, I can't. I'm not talking today. I'm like, it's about Madden ratings. And he's like, nah, right, fine. And he gave me a great answer. He was like, yeah, I don't know if I'll be using Madden ratings, but as soon as they give me a Madden rating, maybe that's when I'll start paying a little bit more attention. I was like, ooh, you clever. God, that goes back to number 4, occasionally funny. And number 1, I mean, how do I not go with this? He won a Super Bowl, folks. How many Super Bowls have the Eagles won? 1. Who is the GM? Who is the general manager? And not just the fact that he won it. He did it just 2 years after Chip Kelly lit a match to the Eagles organization. 2 years later, Super Bowl. Pretty impressive, if you ask me. So that's the good vibes. Those are the good vibes I'm putting out into the universe today that will circle back with us around the time the Eagles make a move in the first round, whether that's to trade up, which is very possible, or whether it is to stand pat at 15 and 18 and select, I still think, most likely 2 defensive players. And we'll examine all that with our friend Zach Berman coming up in just a minute. But overall, please tell me in the chat how you're feeling about tonight. If you have a good vibe, if you have a good feeling about the Eagles taking care of business in this draft and actually making you feel pleased by the time you put your head on your pillow later tonight. The other thing going on in town is the 76ers. Ooh, do I even want to touch this right now? I'm having so much fun talking about, good vibes and stuff. Let's continue the good vibes. Last night, Philadelphia Phillies won their 3rd in a row. 7-3 victory over the Rockies. And that's a good feeling because they haven't done that yet this year. And now they're just 1 game under 500 at 9-10 on the regular season. Odubel Herrera has come back to the lineup, and he's been hitting. He had a home run last night. That was his 2nd. Not too bad for him. Rhys Hoskins took the collar last night. Not a great night for Rhys. Reverted back. He was 0 for 5. Bryce Harper, 3 for 4. Had a triple in this game. A stand-up triple that went off the angled wall in center field. Scored later. And then after the game said he hates triples. I guess they're just too close to home plate. Why stop then? Apparently he hates triples. A lot of running involved as well. Nick Castellanos is up his average at 329. He had a 2 for 3 night on last night. So that was good to see. Alec Boehm had another 2 hits. He's 2 for 4. And playing some good defense at third base as well, I might add. Didi Gregorius is hitting. He was 2 for 3 last night. And how about my man Garrett Stubbs? Mr. Sinatra himself had himself a little bit of a night as well. He was pretty good for the Phillies. He also had a triple, and he was 2 for 4 on the evening. This is what you want to see from these guys. This is the type of output you want to see from this offense. They've scored, 25 runs in their last 3 games during this 3-game winning streak, so keep that coming. Zach Wheeler will be on the hill for the Phillies tonight, and hopefully he'll be getting the job done from the bump. Ranger Suarez, got to give him credit, folks. Ranger Suarez allowed 3 runs over 6 innings. He gets a quality start. Only allowed 1 walk, and he did give up a home run. But it was a great performance by the Phillies overall last night. Very nice to see them put these 3 wins together. It might be a small feat right now, but this could be something that gets the ball rolling and make you feel a little bit better about the Phillies as they roll on into May. Love it. And it comes down to timely hits. And that's what Joe Girardi talked about in his post-game press conference. A lot of times in baseball, it's all about the timely hits. We've talked about this before earlier in the season. It's still 20 games in here, 19 games in to be exact, where you go through spurts of getting 5, 7, 9 hits in a game, but 2 runs. Like, you got to get those runs with runners in scoring position. You got to get a little bit of luck here. And there's been a lot of luck involved in this Rockies series, don't get me wrong. But as long as this starts the good vibes for them, I'm all for it. I don't care if the Rockies are playing terrible defense. I don't care if the Rockies are playing worse defense than we all thought the Phillies were going to play at the start of the season or in spring training. Well, the bats are going to mash, but when it comes to the defense, not so much. Nick Castellanos was playing great defense for you. It's maybe better to have Bryce Harper out there, but he's on the mend still, but I'm glad he's still producing at the plate. Other than Alec Boehm and those 3 errors he had in one game, and boy, has he bounced back not only with the glove, but also with the bat. These are all great things to come together for the Phillies. Regardless of what the Rockies are gifting you, the Phillies are going out there and taking runs as well, and that can help their confidence going forward. And that's what they need in the early goings of this season, I think. Because one of the things Rhys Hoskins said earlier in the year, and I remember when he said this because I thought this could make a little bit of sense here, like, they know that there's going to be a point in the season where they're going to catch fire, and these bats are going to be able to just hit bombs every single night. But right now, they need to build that confidence up to know that it's not just a thought, but they've physically done it together as a team, as all members of the Phillies. Kyle Schwarber seems to be taking his sweet-ass time now when it comes to matching because he's hitting homers for the team. He's not necessarily getting on base or hitting for average at all. That's why he's gone from your leadoff hitter to, your 7-hole hitter? So for me, that's going to take some time. That's going to take a minute. But as of right now, I think a lot of people are just crossing their fingers to see Kyle Schwarber turn it around. But everybody else is mashing. And let's hope that continues and they complete a nice little sweep of the Rockies tonight with our man Zach Wheeler on the bump. So there's another game tonight. There's another event in Philadelphia sports. And it's not just the draft, as I've talked about yesterday. It's something else. It's game 6 of the NBA first round series, Sixers and Raptors, north of the border, 7:00 tip-off. If the Sixers lose tonight, they come back to Philadelphia to play game 7. And not a lot of people are going to be feeling really confident about that. As a matter of fact, any joy from this first round series with the Raptors has been squashed. There's no relief here. Like, you're only feeling after the Sixers hopefully win tonight is a feeling more so of relief as opposed to, yeah, the Sixers are awesome. This is great. Like, no, that's not it. There's going to be no euphoria after this. None whatsoever. There's going to be, okay, thank God. That'll be my reaction if in the fourth quarter it's at all close. At all close. Joel Embiid has looked good. James Harden has actually hit you a couple threes. That'd be nice throughout the game, not just in the fourth quarter. Tyrese Maxey has played awesome. Danny Green's hitting corner threes and playing good defense. Tobias Harris has been playing a solid defense as he has throughout the entire series. And if the fourth quarter, it's close, and in the final 5 minutes, the Sixers take over and they end up winning by like 10, I'll go, oh, thank God. If the Sixers come out in the first quarter and they just are on fire and they're hitting threes and they're getting to the foul line and they're making things happen, my feeling will be like, oh God, that fourth quarter, please, dear Lord, please make these good vibes continue, please. And then I'll be flipping back and forth from the draft. But good Lord, I will be just looking forward to hopefully a little relief tonight. I don't have them winning tonight. And that, as I said yesterday, and I still feel the same way, 24 hours later, I still feel as if this Sixers team going into this game tonight just doesn't have an answer to buck any trend that the Raptors have started. This has not overall been, yes, they were up 3-0, but this overall has not been a great series for the Sixers. Game 1, they handled their business. Great game by them. Awesome execution. They were great. Game 2, gave me a little bit of a worry. And then they were able to squash the momentum. Game 3, dogfight, to use that old Tire cliche. It was absolutely a dogfight. And without Joel Embiid playing the monster game that he played, they're not up in this series 3-0. They're looking at this series at that point just 2-1. And now you're talking about possibly being down in the series 3-2 if they don't get that type of effort from Joel Embiid. So the way you follow this series is just crossing your fingers. The way you follow this game tonight is saying you need the best you can get from Joel Embiid, the one-hand man. You need Danny Green to hit his shots from the outside. You can't be bricking them left and right. You need Tyrese Maxey to be aggressive. And really what I think has to happen is that Tyrese Maxey has to be the guy for this team to lean on. It's not going to be Tobias Harris. I think we have been talking about Toby stepping up all season, and it hasn't happened enough to the point where you could say this is going to happen. We talked about it, Monday with Al Abdelnaby about this team stepping up and rallying around Tobias Harris. Unfortunately, it hasn't happened. The only guy I see being able to step up and run this team is the kid, as they'll say. The star of the Cure Auto Insurance commercial, other than my brother, Tyrese Maxey. That's the guy that has to step up. Tyrese Maxey needs to somehow morph into a little bit more of a morsel of what James Harden was supposed to be in this lineup going forward. I don't need to see James Harden be aggressive. The more I've thought about what Joel Embiid had to say after Game 5, I don't need it. I don't want it. I don't want James Harden more aggressive. I don't think he can be any more aggressive and be successful. He wants to shoot from the outside, shoot from the outside. You want to dribble and kick out? Do that. But the stuff where he tries to take it to the basket and you see he's clearly just going for the foul, I don't need it. None of that, please. That's where I want to see the ball in Tyrese Maxey's hands more. And I give credit to Doc Rivers for this. In the fourth quarter of Game 5, you saw him go to Tyrese Maxey more. James Harden had to give the ball up to Tyrese Maxey at one point in the fourth quarter. He goes down the court. What's happening? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Well, because that's what should happen. They got a better chance of success in a possession with Tyrese Maxey having the ball in his hands than they do with James Harden. That's what it comes down to. So hopefully the Sixers give us a nice little victory tonight, and we can all feel relieved. Hopefully they're up 30 at halftime, and we just concentrate on the draft. No, because even if they are, I'm going to be waiting for them to blow the lead. Not going to lie. Before we get into our sponsors and our guest line today, just a personal question for people here. I have this glass here. Now, I'm of the school of I don't throw anything away. I'm not a hoarder by any means. This is a small glass, a little bigger than a shot glass, right? A little bigger than like an espresso cup, right? I don't have any of my espresso stuff down here. This used to contain a dessert that I got at Costco. Remember that little rant I did on Costco the other day? Somebody convinced me to keep the glass and use the glass. And I'm like, you know what? Anything I can repurpose? Absolutely. This is, it tastes a little different to me. It's been washed. It contained like some type of like tiramisu type of dessert that I got at Costco. Should I just throw these glasses out? Excuse me. Should I just recycle these glasses? What should I do with these? I'm tempted for shot glasses, but I wouldn't fill them all the way up. Maybe old school wine glasses, maybe? Or just don't repurpose. Don't repurpose a Costco dessert glass. What the hell's wrong with you, Mark? Let me know. Because really, that's the bigger issue than the NFL draft or the Sixers playing basketball, whatever. Yesterday, Danny Green and Doc Rivers addressed the media. And Doc Rivers, a little bit of a fire under people to jump on social media and criticize him for this answer. I don't know verbatim what the question was to this answer. And now that I say that out loud to myself, there's one person that I think might have tweeted it out, and I'll see if I can't pull that up quickly for you fine people. I could have sworn it was our friend Kyle Neubeck who put it out there. And I'm just going to give a quick search to see if it actually was Kyle, because he might have given the full context of the quote. But I know he was asked about being up in series 3-1 and not being able to, he did not, and not being able to close those out. Doc Rivers on being up 3-1 in the playoffs and not closing it out. Here's your boy.
Well, it's easy to use me as an example, but I wish y'all would tell the whole story with me, all right? My Orlando team is the HC. No one gives me credit for getting up against the Pistons who won the title. That was an HC. Go look at that. I want you to go back and look at that roster. I dare you to go back and look at that roster, and you would say What a hell of a coaching job. Really. I mean, the Clipper team that we lost 3-1. Chris Paul didn't play in the first 2 games and was playing on one leg. And we didn't have home court. And then the last one, to me, is the one we blew. That's the one I said, we blew that. Now, it was in the bubble, and anything can happen in the bubble. There's no home court. Game 7 would have been in L.A., but it just happened. So I would say with me, some of them is I got to do better always. I always take my own responsibility. And then some of it is circumstances happen. This one, let's win it, and we don't have to talk about it.
First thing that jumped to mind was, would Pop go on a rant like that? Would Pop list off the excuses like that? The last part of that answer is great. The last 10 seconds of, I got to look at myself. I got to take responsibility. I always got to be better. That's great. When I heard that, I almost did a spit take. When I heard that part of the answer, I went, oh my God, he took responsibility. After blaming everybody else for 50 seconds and praising himself for 50 seconds, he then put it back on him. The last part of that's a great answer. Everything else is awful, because everything else just sounds like, how many excuses can I rattle off to make myself look better? And I give credit to my dear friend, Mike Sealski. That's right, chat. Take that. I give credit to my friend, Mike Sealski, who wrote the Inquirer today, Inquirer.com. He wrote, hey, would you say that to Tracy McGrady's face? Would you go up to him and say that? Hey, we were up against we were up as the Magic, and we were up against the Pistons, who went on to win the title. But I coached great, but those guys, we overachieved with those band of idiots. No, I don't think you would go there. It's wild to me that, first off, Doc put himself in this position. And boy, he was Duck Rivers, right? Was I right for the first 50 seconds of that? But he put himself in this position when he compared himself to Greg Popovich. Win-wise, playoff-wise, all that, yes, great. You compare the numbers. But you can't compare yourself to a guy who's got 5 championships with basically 2 sets of teams, and you got 1 championship with 3 Hall of Famers. That's not a good. So the first thing that popped in my mind after that was, would Pop go on that rant? Or would Pop just say, we've been up and we got to win? That's it. We got to close it out. I got the players to close it out now, so that's what we're going to worry about. All that's in the past, we worry about right now. I think that's how Pop would handle it. He might be a little snooty to a reporter, too. But when he got 5 championships, you could kind of do that. When he got 1, yeah, not so much. Not so much. List of excuses from Doc Rivers. And I don't know what's going to happen if this series does go to a game 7. And we have to listen to what happened as to why this fell apart. Is he going to talk about Joel Embiid's hand? Is he going to talk about Matisse Thybulle not being available in Toronto, and that not only hurting him in those 2 games, but also hurting him in the series overall? Because as we saw, Thybulle looked like crap in Game 5. There's a lot out there right now for Doc Rivers to look at other than himself. What was he going to do with this team? I give him a lot of credit for having this team ready to play in the series, at least to start things off. Man, that seems to have dwindled big time. But you know what? Close it out tonight, and we don't have to worry about it. You're a 4-2 series winner, and that looks good on paper. Because as they say, they don't really ask about how. They ask about how many. How many wins? How many times you advance to the second round? They don't ask how it happened. Like when he says, I wish you guys would tell the full story, how much time do you think we have? Especially speaking to writers who got to write those little 1-inch columns still. Like, no, that's not working. I wish you guys would tell the whole story. Okay, Doc, wish you'd take more responsibility for yourself. Wish you would have just answered with the last 10 seconds of that question, or the last 10 seconds of your answer, and then we'd all feel a lot better about the whole situation. I just looked down at the chat real quick. Julian, Farzy, your shirt is making your eyes pop. Thank you, Julian. Anyway, I wish, you know what I wish from Doc Rivers? I wish he just would have said what Danny Green said.
You got no choice now. Either gonna nut up or fold.
What? No.
You got no choice now. Either gonna nut up or fold.
Now those are words to live by, kids.
It's play on, dude.
There we go. Let me tell you about my man, Mike Seibert at Destination Retirement, destinationretirement.com. Ladies and gentlemen, you thinking about retirement? You should be. You might be thinking, it's so far down the road. I'm not thinking, I'm so young. Think about retirement. This is when you get ready for it. You know why? This is your accumulation phase. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, reach out to my man, Mike Seibert. He's a retirement income certified professional at Destination Retirement LLC and a partner of 1847 Financial and an advisor for Eagles, Sixers, and Phillies fans only, and maybe next year the Flyers. When it comes to long-term savings, why are you giving up current enjoyment of your income? The answer is to have an income stream in retirement. It only makes sense then to understand how retirement streams work so that you can direct savings in ways that give you the highest income when you retire. Think of it like climbing a mountain. Is the objective to get to the top of the mountain, or is the objective to get to the top of the mountain and then safely back down the mountain? Going up the mountain is where you're at right now, your accumulation phase. Going back down the mountain is your distribution phase, where you distribute those funds accordingly in your retirement. That is the answer, to have income streams in retirement. Talking to Mike Seibert right now, he lists off those two phases. And this month, let's talk about college planning. We all know college is expensive, and have you ever thought about how it will affect your retirement? Let Mike show you an efficient way to help pay for your kids' college and still retire on your own terms. The first step is to avoid starting your growth cycle over by depleting accounts like 529s for big expenses like college. You don't want to lose your position on your growth cycle and have to start over again. You can't get that time back. Instead, set yourself up with the ability to use vehicles that you can make and take money out of without starting your growth cycle over. Find out how your annual retirement savings can help your college savings, help your annual retirement savings. That's right. Those two can work together. Mike will set up your own portal and retirement analyzer, then use software to help navigate through the different phases of your financial life. For questions or to set up a meeting with Mike, email him at gobirds@1847financial.com. That's GoBirds. How easy is that? At 1847financial.com, or call his office at 484-275-6035. That's 484-275-6035. You can also visit his website at destinationretirement.com. And as always, go Birds. Hopefully tonight, play the song. Let me tell you about Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. One place, one price, the perfect price every single day at the other corner of 8th and Walnut. And man, he's taking care of mom. He is taking care of mom for Mother's Day, people. Mother's Day is almost here. It's May 8th. Make sure you honor mom and give her a gift that will last a lifetime. The new Creamsicle 24-karat gold dip rose. Remember those warm summer days? Mom would run out there with a creamsicle. Hey, enjoy a creamsicle, son. I love you. Hey, daughter, love you. Love you so much. Thanks, Mom, for the creamsicle. Bring back some of those wonderful memories and let mom know how much you cherish those memories with a beautiful peach petal gold dip rose from Steven Singer Jewelers. Preserved and guaranteed to last a lifetime. This is the sweetest way to tell mom how much those little moments meant to you. Mother's Day is May 8th, so give her a gift that she'll cherish forever. Steven Singer's brand new 24-karat gold dip rose. Go to IHateStevenSinger.com today. That's IHateStevenSinger.com today. And order with fast and free shipping to arrive in time for Mother's Day. Free personalized love note as well, and a free lifetime guarantee. Don't wait. They always sell out. See the entire collection of gold dip roses starting at just $59, only available at IHateStevenSinger.com. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. Without further ado, let's jump into this draft conversation a little bit deeper with a good friend from The Athletic, Mr. Zach Berman. And joining us right now on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line from The Athletic, one of our absolute favorites, and he wrote one of our favorite books as well, Underdogs. So make sure you guys check that out on Amazon as well. Zach Berman joins the show. What's up, Zach?
Hey, I'm doing great. Love this week, and it's draft day here, so can't wait.
I always like asking my my football writing friends about like what this week is like for you. What is it like for you?
I enjoy it, right? You know, this if you're a reporter, this is what you live for. You live for the action, right? There's months of talking about something that's going to happen. Here it's happening. I like the action. So this is my favorite time of the off season. There's nothing that beats a Sunday, right, in the actual season. But during the offseason, this is the high water mark, right?
I can hear the giddiness in your voice, and to say like I like the action. It's like, are you going to Vegas? Because that's where it's happening, baby.
I wish. Right.
What do you think the odds are that Eagles fans in, let's see, 24 hours after we air this show, after we air this interview, what are the odds you think the Eagles fans are going to be very happy with what Howie Roseman did in this first round?
I suppose it's a matter of perspective. I do think they're going to be happy, though. I think the Eagles are in a good position at 15 and obviously having 18 and then pick flexibility later on to move up. A lot depends on what happens with the quarterbacks, right? If quarterbacks go early, so if quarterbacks go to, say, Carolina at 6 or Atlanta or Seattle, that's going to push players down the board. If quarterbacks don't go in the top 10 or in the top 8, then Howie needs to be aggressive and he needs to trade up, because I think that I don't know if there's 15 players there that you want, right? That you go to sleep Thursday night saying we had a good night. So if one of those players isn't falling, then Howie needs to be aggressive and trade up. And I think he knows that as well.
Now, all this is under the assumption that the draft board falls in the way that Eagles fans would want it to. And I think most Eagles fans want the Eagles to concentrate on the defensive side of the football. With that being said, do you think they will walk away with 2 defensive players if they do take 2 picks in the first round? Or do you think they'll split the difference and go one on each side of the ball?
I don't believe it's going to be deliberate, but I think it'll be a one on each side of the ball. I think they're going to come away with a wide receiver. If you just look at the strength of the draft in the teens, it's the wide receivers. Now, maybe there's an early run, or maybe the Eagles trade back from 18 and they're not drafting a wide receiver. But if you're saying staying at their spots, if I'm looking at who's the best player on the board at 18, it's most likely going to be a wide receiver. And you can probably make that argument for 15 as well.
Now, maybe I'm just scarred, but there's something about Howie Roseman drafting a wide receiver in the first round that doesn't make me feel too good. And there's a big part of me, and I said this on yesterday's show, that makes me think, let's quit while we're ahead with Devontae Smith, and we'll go wide receiver later. But you're telling me the way it might shake out here is that it might match up between wide receiver and best player available.
Yes, I think that's where you're going to see value, right? The receivers in this year's class, it's not like last year where they're top 5 guys, right? But it's very much in that, let's say, 7 to 20 range where you could see 4 or 5 receivers go off the board. And so the Eagles would be right in the thick of it. I'm not in the camp of saying that just because the Eagles spent first-round picks the past 2 years and a second-round pick in 2019 that they can't spend one there. I believe in resource allocation, of course, but you can't let past mistakes compound into future mistakes, right? You need to make the best decision at the time, and it very well might be a wide receiver. Now, the variable is this. I don't think the Eagles are going to trade up for a wide receiver. If the Eagles trade up from 15, I think it's going to be for a defensive player, whether you're talking about Stingley, whether you're talking about Kyle Hamilton, whether you're talking about Kayvon Thibodeau, someone who, I would say one of those players. And if they trade up from 15, it wouldn't surprise me if they traded back from 18 to try to recuperate some of the value they gave to move up.
I got you. I heard Stingley, and I'm like, all right, let's put. That's the guy that, yes, I agree. If they're trading up, that would be more so the guy to target on there. If they do stay at 15, they do stay at 18, and you fish a wish, who would you be most pleased with for the Eagles to walk away with those 2 picks?
I think Jordan Davis is a really good player, number 1, and he's a rare player, number 2, right? There's going to be an expression you're going to hear overused this weekend, and that's tools in the body. And if I use that expression to my wife tonight at dinner, she would have no idea what I'm talking about. But in football jargon, that's used all the time, right? So he's 6'6", 340. He can run, he can jump. It's I have a Bill Parcells book behind me. It's the Bill Parcells theory. There's only so many people on this earth who can do those things. Go and get them. And I'm not as concerned with the lack of the pass rush. I'm part of it. I think, look, if he had 10 sacks last year, he'd be the number 1 pick in the draft. That's how good he is elsewhere and how promising he is. So I think he could be an option at 15. But also, you might have to jump in front of Baltimore or Minnesota to get him. At 18, it depends. I don't think Jameson Williams is going to fall, but he'd be a great candidate for them. Chris Olave, I really like Treylon Burks from Arkansas, but I think there's going to be a good wide receiver there. And real quick, if you're looking for a defensive back there that fits the Eagles, I would say Dax Hill from Michigan. If they took Dax Hill at 18, I don't think that's a stretch. I think he's a day one plug-and-play player.
David Ojabo is an interesting case here because I thought maybe late first round, early second round type deal, but I'm seeing some people say he could go in the early 20s in this draft. Where do you think he eventually falls?
I would guess second round, unless a team wants to get, a fifth year on that contract. Although if he redshirts this year, he'll be a restricted free agent down the road anyways. And if he's as good as you think, you're going to want to sign him to an extension. Gotcha. I wouldn't mind that risk in the second round. I know there are Eagles fans that are probably scarred from the Sidney Jones experience.
Sure.
I can point to Landon Dickerson last year. I can point to other examples. Every injury is different. I get it. ACL is different than torn Achilles. An injury in March is different than an injury in December. Nonetheless, if you hit on that pick, you get a guy who would have been in the conversation at 15 2 months ago.
When you said Jordan Davis, I was throwing my hands up in a celebratory fashion for those people on the podcast because my audience knows that I really like Jordan Davis. But I was following you on Twitter, and as all people should do, and you had pointed out something that I was totally unaware of. Jordan Davis's mom is an Eagles fan?
Well, credit to EJ Smith from the Inquirer there.
Oh,
He's
okay,
out in Vegas, and I retweeted that. But that's what Jordan Davis said to the reporters today. So would be a good storyline there if they bring him in.
All the more welcome. All the more welcome in Philadelphia. When it comes to day 2 of this draft, when it comes to Friday and the second round picks, one of the needs I see the Eagles having right now is obviously the safety position, but it seems like they've addressed that more so through trade and free agency in the past than anything. Do you see them possibly going, though, to the secondary, especially the safety position, in the second round of this draft?
Yes, I think second or third round, right? I think both those rounds, there's some good players on the board. It depends when they go, but whether you're talking about Jaquan Brisker from Penn State, whether you're talking about Jalen Petrie from Baylor, in the third round, there's say Nick Cross from Maryland, JT Woods from Baylor. I don't have the list in front of me, but those are just some names that come to mind there. And if there's guys who fall, like I don't think Lewis Seen from Georgia falls, but if he falls to the second round, the Eagles could be aggressive trying to trade up because he's the type of player that would interest them as well.
Zach, I got to get your opinion on this. And I'm going to mix both things here perfectly. You're going to be so amazed by the way I combine this. Ready? Here we go. Don't pass out with how amazing this is going to be. Not that I'm going to oversell it. Okay. Who are you more confident in a performance Thursday night? The 76ers in general or Howie Roseman in the first round of this NFL draft?
You know what? I mean, the Sixers, it's a 50-50 proposition, right?
Right. Yes.
So I think the Sixers are going to close it out up in Toronto. They're the better team. They're going to close it out. There are far more variables at play. I'll put it this way. If we're playing the odds we were talking about in Vegas, the hit rate of a first round pick compared to the probability that that team that's favored to win wins game 6, I would go the Sixers.
All right. Well, here's where I will couch it a little bit. You can still make Eagles fans happy by just taking defensive players, and that would at least make them happy for that given night. Oh, and Zach, if you do use that line about the tools in the box or whatever at dinner, with your, please film that and let me use it tomorrow on the show.
yeah, seriously.
Mashed potatoes, tools in the box. Anyway, Zach Berman, The Athletic, you do a phenomenal job, my friend. Thanks so much. Great to have you on again. Make sure you guys are following him on social media, obviously, and buy that book, Underdogs, and relive the legend of that season, my friend. Zach Berman, always great catching up with you. Thanks so much, and good luck with all your draft coverage.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Zach Berman joining us on the Ruffman Orthopedics guest line. Always a pleasure catching up with the great Zach Berman from The Athletic. No lie, one of my favorite people to interview on this show. Great guy. Absolutely great guy. That was Zach Berman on the Ruffman Orthopedics guest line. Let me tell you about Ruffman. And yes, I didn't get a text message, a follow-up text from Zach where he used the tools in the body line at the dinner table. And I'm kind of happy about that, actually. Let me tell you right now about Ruffman Orthopedics. Hey, remember the old you? The ones that have to put up with a fickle knee, a finicky hip, or a shoulder that now no longer does what a shoulder should do. The Rothman approach to orthopedics is here to get you back to being you, back to running, back to walking, back to working, back to playing, back to living your life the way you want. With same-day appointments available, you can start today at RothmanOrtho.com. That's RothmanOrtho.com. The official orthopedic partner of your Phillies, Eagles, and Sixers. That's RothmanOrtho.com. Let me tell you about WinView, the only game where fans can take on other fans and end the debate once and for all. Who is the bigger sports fan? You have those friends and family members who think they know everything about sports. Play them in a WinView contest. See if they can walk the walk as well as they talk the talk. You want to break the monotony of family dinners and get-togethers? Play a quarter of little NBA action. See what happens there. It's not sportsbook. It's not daily fantasy. It's a social gaming app where fans can take on other fans and end the debate once and for all. Who can win that money, basically? And all you got to do is make predictions on the games that you love so much. So download the WinView app right now and have yourself a good time. How about PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs. That's PHLSportsNation.com. I like to tell you guys when I'm doing like the manly stuff around the house, and I might have to go see my friends at Rothman again. Because I in my backyard in the city, we got like this, we didn't put this up. This was here when we moved into the house. It was there when we moved into the house. It's like a stucco wall, right, in the backyard. And on top of it is this little fencing, and it was drooping. It was starting to droop. So I had to get the old hammer drill out yesterday. Talk about tools in the tools in the body, huh? And I had the old hammer drill out. And what I did was I drilled into the top portion of the stucco wall, which was a stone topping. At least I thought it was. And I drill into it and just powder, straight powder. And I'm like, these are fake rocks. This isn't real. And it was like concrete shaped rocks that were made to look real because it was just straight powder all over the place. And I put in this, I inserted this iron rod to prop the fence back up. And that was my manly deed for the day. And you know what? For whatever reason, my shoulder started hurting again. So might have to call up Rothman one more time, ladies and gentlemen, because it just won't go away. Let's jump into the chat check and see how you fine people are doing. You guys are bonkers. First off, the sexy talk with Zach Berman. Maybe that'll be a new segment, sexy talk with Zach Berman. But you guys, real time, I see you getting lost in Zach Berman's eyes. It's hard not to. I mean, I don't even do we even talk football? I don't even remember. Alyssa, how do you not love a little Zach Berman? You know what I'm saying? One Guapo, good morning. April, good morning. Kevin, good morning. Welcome in. Marquise, what's going on? Good morning, everyone. Dang, today can even be a great day to be a Philly fan or a horrible day, depending on how the Eagles draft and how the Sixers outcome goes in Toronto. I will not be having any negativity. That's why I put the good juju out in the air there by saying 5 nice things about Howie Roseman. If you missed it earlier in the show, there it is right there. Still has his hair, occasionally funny at press conference, good work ethic, has always been nice to me, and he won a Super Bowl. Those right there, 5 nice things about Howie Roseman. Putting it into the atmosphere. Good vibes, man. Good vibes. As my old friend Trey Thomas would say, everything we do matters, man. There you go. John Cheeseborough, happy draft day. Farzy Society, I have returned. Welcome back, John Cheeseborough. Happy draft day, April. Since I already committed this day to the draft, I'm seeing how mad I am at the Sixers and Duck. Game 6 will fill draft day commercials. Wow. So tonight, a Sixers possible survive and advance playoff game will be the flip. It won't be the mainstay. It'll be the flip. I always like to have a flip. Baseball especially. Like to have a flip. What am I flipping over to? Oh, Shawshank's on? Flip. Like to have a flip. Flyers are on, Sixers are on, flip. Always like to have a flip. But in a playoff game, that's usually the mainstay. The draft is something I can read a list of later. So that's what I'll be concentrating on tonight, the basketball game, while following the draft. That's how it'll work. Actually, tonight, I don't know if I can stream it. Can we stream the game tonight? Can we stream the Sixers? We might be able to stream it on the old My Teams app. So maybe we'll do that. Oh, look, Zach's already up. He already liked he liked the interview. He liked the show. Thanks, Zach. Appreciate you. Alyssa, I might take your comments and send them over to Zach just to say good morning to him and just be like, hey, these people think you have enough tools in the body. All right. Nice things about Howie Roseman. Go. Let's see if anyone actually did it. Oh, John Cheeseborough. Howie Roseman is a red-blooded human. That's just a fact. It's not even nice. Howie Roseman, I think, is a nice person, says Marquise Graham. Now, that's nice. John Cheeseborough, I'm here for any and all Major League and in living color references. Oh, man, in living color. Oh, what a great program. Oh, that was such a great show. Ah. At the time, I wasn't a big Fire Marshal Bill guy. That character has grown on me. The movie critics with David Alan Grier and Damon Wayans, hilarious. And that's before I ever knew like who they were portraying. I always found them to be hilarious. That was such a great show. And I'm an SNL loyalist. Like I never watched Mad TV. It was SNL and In Living Color. In Living Color was one that caught on for me. Mad TV never caught on for me. Are we doing positive Howieisms? Let it rip, John, if you want to. Alyssa, Howie is an Eagles fan? Question mark. Jordan to replace Fletch in the future. There we go, Marquise. My man Pots and Pans. Howie gets cool Eagles merch. Why are all these questions? Why are these question marks? I'm looking for definitive statements. By the way, did you guys see Nick Castellanos' interview last night after the game? Where sometimes when you do an interview, and I do this too, hell, Al Morganti, I'll tell you right now, is the master of this. You'll do an interview where you sometimes won't just ask a series of questions. You'll ask leading statements. You'll make leading statements to set up the subject. I do that. I've done it with Zach. I've done it a bunch of times. So that way it's just not peppering. It's more of a conversation. Al Morganti is the only person that once did an interview, and I'll never forget it. It was like a 15-minute interview with Peter Gammons, and Al never asked a question. He made a series of leading statements and comes out of the studio going, that's how you do it, Fonzarelli. That's how you do it. You just set him up. Yeah, that's it. That's what he said. He didn't even answer questions to Peter Gammons. He just made a series of leading statements. Bryce Harper is coming around. Well, yeah, he's definitely coming around. He's starting to really hit the ball well. Like that. So last night, Nick Castellanos was set up by Tom McCarthy to talk about how well he's been hitting the baseball. And Tom said something along the lines of, it seems it's really coming together for you at the plate. And Nick Castellanos goes, is that a statement or is that a question? And I'm like, damn, Nick, we want to love you, bro. And then he was a little warmer towards the end of the interview. But I was like, damn, it caught me by surprise from the old Castellanos. Jordan replaced Fletch, all the questions about Howie. Marquise, that's who I want more is Stingley or Sauce. Unlike others, I call Stingley a generational talent still. Yeah, Stingley, if they trade up, Stingley's the guy I want them to go after because I think he's the guy that is more likely to fall. They're more likely to be available and more likely for the Eagles to move up and go get him. Yeah, John, you're absolutely right. If he falls behind 12, I'd be shocked. That's why I'm saying if he doesn't go like 7, 8, 9, I think that's when you start tickling the double digits there. I think that's when Howie Roseman goes and pounces, right? Just like a tiger, just like a lion. Did the April Mark, how dare you give the Super Bowl win to Howie? BDN says otherwise. Hey, who brought BDN back? Right? Who brought him back? When you think about that Super Bowl team, in all honesty, that's a shining. Now, not just because they won a Super Bowl, but overall, that was a shining moment for Howie Roseman. Derek Barnett jumped on the strip sack, a guy that Howie drafted. Nick Foles was your MVP, a guy Howie brought back. Chris Long had a great game, a guy Howie signed in the offseason. LeGarrette Blount throughout that season, another Howie signing, was great for you all year. Jay Ajayi was big in that game, not as big as Corey Clement, who, by the way, was an undrafted free agent that Howie Roseman signed. Alshon Jeffrey was another guy they brought in with Howie. Like the guy, like the thing that was so crazy about that team is like for all the stuff that Howie has got, nope, not going to do it, not going to couch it. I'm just going to speak of the isolated incident of them winning that Super Bowl. What Howie brought in to that team, everything was a hit. Even the regular season, the guy he drafted number 2 overall, the guy he went from 13 to 8 to 2 to go up and get in Carson Wentz would have been the MVP of the league had he not gotten hurt. And then the guy that he brought in, Nick Foles, carried him the rest of the way. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. But BDN forever. By the way, you see the BDN shooting jumpers the other day on the old internet? Goddamn, love Nick Foles. John, I got a wait. John's got a serious one. John, what's your serious one? There we go, John. All right. How we worked the boards the last 2 years and managed to fleece the Dolphins, Colts, and the Saints in trades. There you go. That's something substantial. All right. What else? I've just skipped over a couple of things here. Howie, don't touch a quarterback during this draft. Please, Howie, stay away from quarterbacks. I don't mind if they take a quarterback late. Mike Fuji. Hola, everybody. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Draft day, go Eagles, go Birds. Sixers, go Sixers. Sweep those Rockies. There we go. Fun draft day says April. Fuji, happy draft day. That's nice, April. John Cheeseburger, hi, Rosen. There is Marquise. I guess the Eagles should have fired Howie again, then rehire him 3 years. Then in 3 years to get the 2017 Roseman team back. Let me try that again. I guess the Eagles. This is Marquise. I guess the Eagles should have fired Howie again, then rehired him in 3 years just to get back that 2017 Howie. It would almost be amazing if Howie was the one that had to rebuild after Howie tore it down. Kind of deal. Jim Grassmeter, what's up, Jim? What's going on? We talking Sixers now or waiting till game 7? Dan Schwartz, what's up, buddy? Good morning. Marquise, I feel better about the Phillies at this point than I do the Sixers. All right. Dan Schwartz, can he do magic, JC? Who's doing magic? What's happening? Dan Schwartz, would you say that about Pop, Marquise? Yeah. Oh, here's where we're getting to the Duck Rivers thing. Clay, good morning, Clay. What's going on? Nice to have you. Clay, big cheese. Dan Schwartz, Mark isn't a hoarder. Well, at least he's not the part of the word. I'm skeptical about the rest. You're calling me a, as they'd say in my grandparents' language, a putana. Anyway, let's see here. Putana for those, what are they? Oh, God, what's the word? For those that only speak British, putana means whore. Anyway. Why has it got to be like this? Who are we being like? Alyssa, why has he got to be like this? Oh, Doc Rivers, why has he got to be like that? Okay. Mally used a duck emoji. Mally for the win. Mally says Duck's ego is effing delusional. Facepalm emoji. You know what they say about excuses? Well, yes, I do. They're like something in, well, yeah. All right. Sean, good morning. What's going on? My goodness, Duck, says Sean. Jim Grassmeter, NFL did a mock draft last night. Eagles have, they're taking Hamilton and McDuffie from Washington. That would be awesome. I'm not arguing against that. Wouldn't even compare him to Snap Crackle Pop, let alone Greg Popovich. Dan, that's one of your best lines. I wouldn't even compare him to Snap Crackle and let alone Pop. Just saying. Yep. What else do we have? Julian Farzy shirt. That's where you say my shirt's making me pop. Thank you. Real time. Nut up. Thank you. Thank you for the explanation of Danny Green. You got For those that missed it, this is Danny Green's advice for Game 6.
You know, you got no choice now. Either going to nut up or, fold.
The former more than the latter? There we go. Farzi's baby blues. What? I don't have blue eyes. I'm the only person in my home that does not have blue eyes. My wife and her German background has given me blonde-haired, blue-eyed kids that I love and adore. But their names are Emanuela and Leonardo. They both, I think, Emanuela definitely has my big fat Farzetta face. Leo, he's the cheeks are puffing. The cheeks are puffing. But I don't have, and Emanuela is really good with her colors now. So she'll, talk about like, mommy has blue eyes. Yo-Yo, she calls my son Yo-Yo. She calls her brother Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo has blue eyes. Daddy has blue eyes. I say, Daddy has hazel eyes. And she'll say, Hazel? And I'm like, yeah. And she'll go, blue eyes. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm not arguing with you. Whose fault is it if you're arguing with a 2.5-year-old? John Cheeseborough, every time I see Farzi's brother in the Cure Auto Insurance commercial, I say, damn, he's a mutant. He is a mutant. He was like born at 6'5". Fight that as a kid. All right. 3 years older and 4 feet taller. Yeah. Okay. Should have saved that shirt for tomorrow after Toronto forces a Game 7 tonight. Yeah. Mally, JC, when I see the Cure Auto Insurance commercial, I think, oh, that's where the talent went. Joking, says Mally. I've said this before. My brother, no lie, is the funniest person I know. I know a lot of funny people. My brother's the funniest person I know. No joke there. Statement of fact. Funniest person I know. Yuck, creamsicles. Clay, who doesn't like a nice creamsicle? Oh, there you are, loving some ZB. How do you not? I like character count sign behind Zach Berman. Come to respect PJ, Maurice. So Marquise, so rocking the blue button up better. Mally, so who's rocking the blue button up better? Mark or ZB? I credit ZB. He's at the lighter blue. Jim Grassmeter, Farzy, how about extending the show when the Eagles are on the clock? I would get sick of me. You think I could pull off a Jerry Lewis impression, Mally? I don't know about that. Ray, what's going on, Ray? Ray Fitzgerald chiming in. You don't want the Eagles to make trades, stockpiling draft picks for the future. It's time to cash them in now. Damn right. The only picks I wanted them to do is to flip a pick to next year, which they did. And I think that's good insurance for if Jalen Hurts falls flat, or really anybody on this team falls flat. Real time, good morning. Marquise, hello again. John Axelrod. John Axelband, excuse me. John Axelband. I heard you say your brother was in the commercial, so I watched it. I thought he was the Asian man at the first. Then at the end, I see Farzy stunt double in the back, and I'm like, oh, that's probably it. That is him. That is my brother Michael. Mike, whatever. Farzy had been bullied by his mutant brother. Yes, I was, very much so. You grow up with people that you consider to be your family, like brothers, like your extended brothers. Like I've talked about my buddy Joey, my buddy Bennett, those guys. And it's funny, my cousin Christina, whose wedding is in London in the beginning of June, that's the one I'm going to. She summed this up great because she's got a brother, my cousin Michael. And she explained it to me great. She's like, unless you have fought over your parents' leftovers from going out to dinner, I know it's a very specific thing, but unless you have fought over those leftovers in the fridge, you don't have a sibling. And I was like, that is a great point. Because I distinctly remember on the special occasions that my parents would go out to dinner, if they brought back that white styrofoam container, that doggy bag, right? And that was sitting in the fridge, and the next day lunch came around, ooh, buddy, it was a bloodbath. Who was getting that half of mom's crab cake? Who was getting the rest of dad's steak? It was it's either you were getting surf and turf on your own and your brother wasn't around, or it was a bloodbath over who was getting what. I think Farzy would make an awesome Ming from Flash Gordon. The melon is king. That is the nicest thing anyone's ever said about me being a bald man. A great Ming. That's fantastic. Thanks everybody in the chat. You guys are awesome as per usual. Much appreciated. Let's jump into our morning rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars, skymotorcars.com. Let's not forget about those 70s. Well, first off, the Phillies, they played today, 105 start time. They go for the 4-game sweep of the Colorado Rockies. Zach Wheeler is on the hill today. Interesting thing, they had Odubel Herrera in the leadoff spot yesterday. He was back to the top of the order. That was interesting. See if they repeat that today. And then the 76ers, of course, tip off in the biggest game since their last biggest game, which was last year, trying to complete the series, to finish off the series. Tonight, 7 o'clock tip-off. Catch that on the old Comcast Metrophone Sportsnet, otherwise known as NBC Sports Philadelphia. 7 o'clock tip-off. Hopefully the Sixers close it out tonight, and we can all live better lives. I love Jordan Davis. I've said it many times. If the Eagles get the opportunity to trade up and get a corner, which I believe is their bigger need, then please, by all means, trade up and get that corner. I'm hoping that corner is Derek Stingley out of LSU. Let's make it happen, Howie. Let's make it happen, Eagles. Here's to having a conversation tomorrow morning, Friday morning, about all things Eagles and Sixers winning. Here's all about good vibes and feeling good about what the Eagles do in tonight's draft and the Sixers and what they do in tonight's game to close it out. So we don't have to talk about blowing 3-0 or 3-1 leads with Doc Rivers. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. This is the Farzy Show presented by Destination Retirement, coming to you live from the Steven Singer studio. Make sure you guys hit like and subscribe on the old YouTube page as well. Jim Hyden produced the program, did a wonderful job. This is a Buzz Sports and Entertainment production. My name is Mark Farzetta for the Farzy Show. Have a great rest. Why? This is why I can't look at the chat at the end of the show. Cecil, wait, you're bald? Thank you. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. And I mean that particularly today with the Phillies in action, the Sixers in action, and the NFL draft going on tonight. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Take it easy.